we are not allowed to go out, because if we go out, then we'll have to bear the consequences. There is police waiting for us because they're also tired. So hopefully this lockdown will get over on May 3rd, and whatever that is happening with us in during this lockdown, we are creating that, or we are allowing that thing to happen, because there are people, you all wonderful minds are attending the webinars, be it this webinar or some other webinar, enhancing the knowledge, reading books, watching YouTube videos which can be useful in some way, or learning new skills. So you all are creating whatever that is happening with you, right? Which is going to create positive results. And there will be some people who will be, I'm not saying wasting, because everybody is right in one of the contexts. So who are sleeping, who are not doing anything, who are not even working on their skill set, and not learning anything new, having an old pattern, using this time to relax and sleep and sleep and sleep and eat, that is also created by them. So on May 4th, when we are done with this lockdown, we'll have two outcomes. One outcome is will be yours, and the other one outcome will be of theirs, right? So whatever, and those people might complain, oh, I couldn't do anything, I had this problem, I had that problem, or I did not have a very good internet connection, or they can give a lot of excuses to you. So which is actually not true. The actual thing is, the truth is, this was something that they created, or they allowed that thing to happen with them, right? So let me give you one more example. You are in a bar, right? You're having drinks, and there are other people who are also drinking, and you go to a tall man around 6.5 feet tall, really bulky, good muscles and everything. You go to that person and say, hey, you know what, you look really ugly, and that person punches you in the face, and you'll end up in the hospital. It was not allowed, right? You did not allow that thing to happen, you actually created that. Somebody could not score well, somebody did not prepare for the examination, therefore he did not score well. It was something that the person created, right? So we need to understand here, whatever that happens with us is either created or allowed by us to. We either create that or allow that to happen. So always remember, we have a choice of creating the things or allowing the things that we actually want. So if you want to create the kind of future that you see for yourself, which is really bright, having a big, again, I'm not talking about the possession, something that you actually want in life, you can actually create that. You can create that by working on your skills, enhancing your knowledge, and improving the skills that you have. You can easily create that. Or you can have the opposite thing. You can have the opposite result. Maybe you didn't get anything when you are 60 years or 70 years old, or on the deathbed, you think that, oh, I couldn't do anything in life. That actually means you allowed that thing to happen with you, because you allowed yourself not to do anything about. So anything that happens to us, we have the full control over, right? We have full control over everything that happens to us. The problem is, we do not take any step. We do not want to take the step, or we do not go and do anything about that. Therefore we allow that thing to happen with us, right? So always remember, you still have a choice. You still have a choice of creating the future that you want. So success mindset principle says we either create or allow everything that happens to us. Now, when we talk about the other thing, other principle that says pay attention. It's not that paycheck. It's pay attention to your, any guesses? What do we need to pay attention? Okay, so there is a question from Shaila that says, what could be the reason that we do not take any steps to do anything about it? The major reason is we don't want to. We don't want to take any, we don't want to do anything about it. Maybe the lack of fear. Maybe we think that will be disapproved by other people, or when we are not confident about the things. When we think that the things or the steps that I'll be taking will not be appreciated by others, I'll fail in that, or I'm not confident as to how to do, how to go ahead with that, then these things happen. Then we allow everything. Let's go with the flow. Then there is a dialogue that the people say, let's go with the flow. Our surrounding people, yes. One of the reasons is, like I said, what will people think about us? Or we might be disapproved by the people. The people will be disapproving that. My mother will not like it. My wife will not like it. What will my wife think about it? What will my children think about it? So these are the thoughts that stop us from doing things. Oh, what will those four people say? What will those what will my relatives think? We think about others, therefore we forget about that's that's why we allow those things to happen. It takes a lot of courage to step out of our comfort zone and do something which we actually did not want to do, because that thing will bring a lot of positivity and the things that we actually will bring the things that we actually want to get from the life. Okay, so pay attention to your, and I have not shown something. Thoughts, okay, good. Pay attention to your thoughts, good. You can pay attention to your thoughts as well. Great, wonderful. Any other thought? Okay, you know what? Most of the people do not succeed in their life because they do not pay attention to their results. Pay attention to your results and always remember your results never lie. Success growth mindset principle that says pay attention to your result and your result will never lie to you, provided you should know and you know how to evaluate whatever result that you have produced. All right, always remember that your results will never lie. So whenever you get something out of it, whenever you perform something, you're done with that. So give it some time to analyze as well as evaluate, because when you analyze whatever that you have done, that analysis will give you a lot of positivity, a lot of things to be worked upon. Whenever I do, let me talk about myself here. Whenever I deliver any kind of training session, after each and every training session, I sit back and I think about whatever I have delivered, whatever I have done in the training session. I do an analysis of that. I see myself, I'm the biggest critic of myself, right? So I do a critical analysis of everything that I do. And that thing helps me a lot. This thing helps me to improve. And I get better and better whenever I deliver those things next time, those sessions next time. So make sure that you pay attention to your results. Okay. Okay, so you are okay. So let's say Bhavna has asked me a question. Could you give an example of paying attention to the results? Yes, there is an example. Let's say uh, you have created a team. You are a manager, right? So you have a team, and you're handling 10 people in your team, and you have assigned them certain tasks, right? And they work upon them. So whatever result that they have produced, so that result will give you a lot of insights. When you evaluate, when you do an analysis of that particular result, that result will bring out a lot of positivity as well as the areas to be worked upon. Probably you assigned the wrong task to the right person, or vice versa, right? So that result will make you think, as well as that analysis will make you realize as to what needs to be done next time so that you get the better result, right? So let's say I am learning to drive a car, right? So this is my first day, and I did not have much idea about it. So I started learning, and I just hit somebody. The result is I hit somebody. So when I sit back, relax, and revise and recall all the incident, I might get the reason as to why that particular thing happened. So when I do that thing next time, I'll be more careful because I've done a lot of analysis of that, right? So that thing will allow me to have better result next time. So okay, so results can also be impacted by certain things out of control. What needs to be done in that case? Okay, there is one more question. So the question is from Shruti. Results can be impacted by certain things. Okay, out of your control. You know what? Always remember this thing. People, it's not. There is nothing. My request is not to take it personally. This is for everyone, right? See, people have a habit of complaining. You're right. And people have a habit of complaining over the things they can have control over. Let me tell you this. People never ever complain about the things that they cannot control, because something which is out of your control, you will have no power over. You will have complain, or you will complain about the things that you can actually control. So results can also be certain things. So those certain things need to be worked upon, right? I do not know the things that you're working upon, right? So it may be anything. So it says whatever thing that you're working upon, make sure that you know about those things, those areas, those aspects completely. So when you know about those things completely, then there are hardly any chances of errors. There are errors because we do not work on those things completely. See, there are things, let's say you're taking a training session and there is an earthquake. This is something that you cannot control, right? In that case, you can't do anything. All you can do is you can just pause for a while and wait for the earthquake to get over and then continue with your session. There are things that are out of your control. Locus of control is something, internal locus of control and external locus of control. So make sure that the things that you're working upon are a part of your internal locus of control, are the things that you can actually control, right? So circumstances, a man is a product of his decisions, not his circumstances. Circumstances will not be in your favor all the time, right? So it may be in your favor, it may not be in your favor. The circumstances are out of control. Your reaction to the circumstances, your response to the circumstances is something which is in your control, right? All right. Okay, wonderful. People are participating. That's really good to see. All right. So always pay attention to the results that you are getting. They never ever lie. Be it anything. It can be in case of your personal life. It can be in case of your professional life. So you need to have an analysis ready with you all the time, whatever that you do. Always remember, do an analysis, do an evaluation. Self-evaluation and self-analysis are two things which are more important than anybody or anything else. Because when you do a self-analysis, when you rectify as well as you point out the errors that you made or mistakes that you made before anybody else points out, then everything is done. You. Okay, so always pay attention to your results. Results can be anything. Results can be in your favor. Results cannot be in your favor. So, and here my suggestion is make sure that your results are in your favor. In your favor means even if the results are not in your favor, you can bring them or you can change them, and you can always see them as the positive ones. Even if I do not score well in an examination, that result is going to give me a lot. Actually, this is not the failure. That this is actually the feedback from my result. My result is telling me to work hard. My result says now it's time for you to forget and leave all the old habits that you have. Leave all your old habits and start having new habits to bring and create new results. Okay, so I think we should move to the next point, which is okay, like I said before, all these principles are connected with each other. If you keep doing what you have always done, you keep getting what you have always got. You must have seen people saying, or you must have heard people saying, we have been doing this thing like this since ages, and nothing can be done about it. Nothing can be done about it, which is actually right, because they never ever did anything new. Old things will give you old results. New things will give you new results. Like I discussed in the first point, that positive change will come from adding resources. If you keep doing what you have always done, you keep getting what you have always got. If you want something, if you want to get something good or something new, make sure you do something new. You know what? People try to do new things. This word try, I tried doing something new. Trying will not give you the results. You have to do them. So always remember that you remove this particular word try from your vocabulary, because whenever you use this word try, your subconscious mind gets a signal that this is something that I should not put 100% efforts to. All right. So try will always reduce the efforts. If you say, I will try my level best, you will hardly get the work done, because you're actually trying, you're not doing it. Right? So always remember, if you keep doing what you have always done, you keep getting what you have always. So if in order to get something new, make sure you do something new. People keep on wondering, I've been doing this thing this way, and it has always given me the good results. Probably that person never thought of better results, right? So always remember that whenever, like, I have been repeating this thing over and over. If you really want to get something new, make sure you do something new. If you are not willing to get something new, keep on doing the old things, because the old things will give you the old results. And you will have to adapt to the change. There are people in this world who think that change is not an important thing, which is, I would not say completely wrong. Yes, they're right in their own thought processes. Here we need to understand that change is also important, because the changes bring changes, right? So if you want to bring a change, change the methods, change your thought process. Okay, so very true. It's one of the five words. Okay, so probably you want me to talk about the other words? Ravi. Okay, so I'll be talking about the other words before
Yes,
that.
Sumit, I don't know whether you would be talking about the same four other words, but
Okay.
I always, in all my sessions, I tell all my
Uh-huh.
participants to forget five words from the English vocabulary itself.
Vocabulary,
If
right.
at all, if they want to get success, if at all, if they
Absolutely.
want to move in the way of success, to forget five words.
Absolutely, because
So it
your
is,
word
try is one of it.
try is one of them, right?
Out
So,
of that, out of five, try is one of it.
absolutely, try is
Because
one
it
of
never
them.
produces the result.
Yes, it will always reduce your efforts. It will
Yeah.
always reduce your efforts. So, because your mind gets a signal as in when you use a particular word, right? So when you use a word, it sends a signal to your mind, and your body gets a signal from your mind. So all these things, mind, body, and linguistics, are connected with each other. Everything is a game of belief and the language. So we'll talk about those things as well. Okay, so the next point here, the next point is, okay, there is no failure in this. Like I discussed in the previous point, there is no failure in this. There is nothing that brings negative results, provided you're able to get something positive out of it. There is no failure, only feedback. Feedback is about the improvement. Feedback is about the things that we missed while attempting that. Feedback is about the changes that we need to make. Feedback is about the mistakes that we made. So always remember, there is no failure in this world. There is only feedback. There are only learnings, right? For example, if there is an internet failure here, right? And I disconnect. So I may not, or I should not think that I failed as a trainer here, or I failed while or using the technology. I should take some learning out of it, and the learning could be, I should use either a better internet connection, or I should change the place of my seat, so that I get a better connection, internet connectivity, which it can be anything, right? So I need to be very clear about the learning that I want to take. So everything that happens to us, every result that we produce, those results bring learning, not just one learning, bring a lot of learning to us. Make sure you're willing to take those learning out, everything that you're doing. Okay, so what is the next question is, Harpreet, what is the best strategy to bring in change in an environment, fixed mindset of people? You can't do anything about it. You can't change people. This is the biggest mistake that we make. You know what? I'm using this word now. We try to change people. We try to change people. That's why we are unsuccessful. If we work upon ourselves, then everything will be different. Everything will be changed. So instead, you work on the people. You can change people only if they are willing to change themselves. Somebody is not willing to change themselves, you can't change them. You don't have a magic wand, right? So if somebody has a mindset, okay, now you are a trainer, you are a behavioral trainer, you are an NLP trainer, you are a mind trainer, now change me. Nobody can do anything. We do not have a magic wand in our hands, right? So we can't change people. We can change people only when they are willing to change, right? So forget about changing people if they're not willing to. We can, I'll talk about that, right? So there is one point I would like to say it here, and that point is responsibility. We are responsible for our own actions, not of the actions of others, right? Because we have to take the responsibility for everything that happens to us, right? So always remember, I'll talk about that point as well. Responsibility is really, really important, right? So the power of responsibility is something that I'm going to talk about after a couple of points.
Sumit, can I add one more thing to this,
Yeah,
if you
sure,
permit me?
please. Yeah, sure, please.
Yeah, rightly said, we cannot change people. At least what we can do is we can just inspire the people to change their mindset, change their thought-provoking ways. That's what we can do. We cannot change a person.
Absolutely. And that thing will only happen. I would like to add something here, Ravi. That thing will only happen when the person is willing to change. It's similar to going to the doctor, right? So you go to the doctor with a problem, right? The doctor checks, does a medical checkup, and gives you some and prescribes you some medicine. It's only you who will be taking those medicine, not the doctor. So doctor can't do anything about it. It's a medicine, as well as your belief, as well as your willingness to take the medicine, that will work, right? So people will have to take the responsibility for their change. I can take the responsibility for my change.
That's why there
True,
are two
true.
words we use. One is consultation and other is treatment. So you can take a
Absolutely.
consultation, but until and unless you follow the consultation, the treatment will not happen. So that's what you are saying here. I
Absolutely.
believe.
Absolutely. If I do not take the medicine, how will I recover? Going to the doctor will not help me. Taking the medicine and taking the right medicine will help, right? So it's my
That's what
responsibility
we
to
say.
take the, yeah,
Implementing the learning. Otherwise, there
absolutely.
is no learning.
Absolutely correct.
Until and
Absolutely.
unless if it doesn't implement, there is no learning at all.
Absolutely. You're absolutely right, Dr. Ali. All right. So I hope we are clear with this point. There is no failure in this world, only learnings. And if we are able to get the learning out of that particular thing, that particular result, then there is nothing like. And yes, the next point, people are not unresourceful. Always remember, we keep on blaming people. That person is useless. That person does not know anything. That person is not the right person, right? Right person according to whom? According to me, according to us, right? So always remember, people are not resourceful. The states that they are in are unresourced. People are not unresourceful. The states that they are in. So if you are able to bring the change in the states of the people with their agreement, then the people will be resourceful, right? So it's the people who are not unresourceful. It's the states that are unresourceful. Make sure, as and when you work with the people, when they come to you for consultation, when they come to you for help, make sure that you work on the states that they are. Working on the states will really help them improve and grow. So the success growth mindset principle says, there are no unresourceful people, only unresourceful states. If you have a person in your team who does not work really well, and if you think that the person is really bad, is of no use, the wrong hire, you need to think about it twice, right? Maybe the work that he is doing, maybe the role that he is assigned is not the right role, is not the right work which is assigned to him. So make sure that the state that the person is in is appropriate, is resourceful, then only the person will be resourceful. Because that unresourceful person, who according to you is of no use, can do wonders, can do magic in the other fields, in the other tasks. Because I have not seen them, right? So always remember, and when he does wonders, when he brings magic in the other works, in the other tasks, he is there in the resourceful state. So people are not unresourceful. People are resourceful. Only the unresourceful states are there. I mean, the situation, the mindset that they have, right? So make sure, as and when you work with the people, as and when they come to you for help, make sure that you change their states. And this is something that we can talk about in detail when we have more time. And let's talk about the ideas that really help, ideas that will definitely bring magic in your life. The idea number one is the power of your belief. The power of everything is a game of belief, like I said before. The power of your belief is really, really important. And your belief can bring magic and can do magic. I'm pretty sure that you all know that a mind is a wonderful thought factory which produces countless of thoughts every day, thoughts and beliefs every day. Some of them are useful and some of them are not useful. There are some beliefs and thoughts that we like, and there are some beliefs and thoughts which we do not like, right? And all those beliefs and thoughts have equal power. They are really, really powerful. So the growth mindset principle further says all these thoughts are being managed by two. Yes, I've shared the screen. Uh, is it not visible to people?
No,
No,
it's
it is.
visible.
It's
It
visible
is
now.
visible, Sumit.
It's
It is
visible,
visible.
visible.
Visible, visible.
Okay, 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 okay. All right. So it says. Okay, thank you. So it says that these thoughts are being managed by two supervisors that we have in our mind. One is Mr. Triumph, and the other one is Mr. Defeat. And believe me, these two supervisors are really, really hardworking. They work day and night out to give you the results that you want. As and when you think about a thought, they prove you right, and they give you the reasons as to why you are right. So let's say when you have a thought like it's a wonderful day today, it will send a signal to Mr. Triumph to work, and it will give you hundreds and thousands of reasons why it's a wonderful day. And it will tell you the reason number one, which is it's a wonderful day, the sale will be really good, the people will be really happy, I'll bring a positive change in myself, and I'll do work with 100% of my capability. I'll smile all the day, and the sun is shining, and I'll definitely enjoy my work today. And believe me, that day is with a lot of productivity. And on the other hand, and when you think, it's raining, it's not a good day, it's not a good day today, and I think I should not go to the office. The moment you think of this thought, it sends a signal to Mr. Defeat, and he gets to work. And when he gets to work, he gives you hundreds and thousands of reasons as to why you should not go to the office. It's raining today. It's hardly anybody will be turning up in the office. There will not be any meeting. The client will not be going to his office because it's raining. And if I ask my wife to cook food for me, to prepare lunch for me, she might not be happy. She might not like it. This and that. So it will give you the reasons why you shouldn't go to the office. So you need to find out which supervisor you want to work. So whichever supervisor that you want to work is something is in your control. You can easily control these two supervisors because these two supervisors are the ones that work according to your commands. So you need to find out which one to command first and which one to command second, or which one not to command. Right? So always remember this. So everything that happens to you is in your control, apart from the natural disasters and the other things. Okay, earlier it was seeing is believing. Now it's believing is seeing. Whatever that you believe, you can see that. Always remember. Earlier it was seeing is believing. Whatever that you see, you can believe that because we would believe the things that we could see. Now, when we start believing something, we can actually see it. For example, I believe that the people are really good, or the person that I'm going to interact today for the very first time is going to be really good. The first thing that I've done is I've created a belief, a positive belief about that person, that the person is going to be good, or that person I'm going to meet is a wonderful individual. So as and when I start my meeting with that person, I will definitely see good things about that person because this is what I've already believed. So whatever that I am believing, that belief is going to work, as well as give me the reasons, like I discussed in the previous point, is going to give me the reasons why that person is good. And on the other hand, if I believe that the person is not good, the person I am going to interact with is not good, I will start seeing that thing in that person, because the moment I interact with that person, I will see that the person doesn't look good. The person doesn't know how to talk. The person does not have the basic manners. He's talking rubbish. All I will see is negativity in that person. So I need to find out whether I want to believe good or whether I want to believe bad. So this is something that we can definitely work upon. So believe good, believe positive, and the positive will be visible to you. Whatever that you believe will be visible to you. This is something that you need to find out whether you actually want to create positive or negative, because there is one more thing that uh, success principles say. That thing is, your brain doesn't know what's real or what's unreal. It's something that you tell your brain to, right? You tell your brain that this is not real or this is real. So this is something that you decide. This is something that we decide whether it's real or whether it's not real. Okay, yes. If you have a mindset that says us versus them, you're going in the wrong direction, because many people operate from this mentality, us versus them. It's about me versus him. It's about me versus her. This me versus her, us versus them, is going to create a negative impact on you, because every time you have this mentality, you are killing the results, you're killing the productivity, you are not going for anything which is bringing productivity to you. So always remember, us versus them mentality is something that can kill your productivity, that can reduce the growth of your mind. Your mind will not be able to grow if you always have the versus kind of mentality. Yes, if you really want to compete with someone, then make sure that you compete with yourself, with yourselves, right? So if I compete with myself, then I'm doing the right thing. If I compete with others, if I have a mentality which is us versus them, it's not going to bring a positive thing, because I will always have a pressure. I'll not be able to do justice, because I do not know about the other person. I know only about myself. So there is, if I have that kind of mentality, that mentality is going to reduce the productivity, is going to kill the productivity. Always remember. Oh yes, something really important. We create our own reality. See, all these points are interlinked with each other. We always create our own reality. For me, the person can be good or person can be bad, right? This is something, there is no person who is good or bad. Everybody is good, right? Because the person who is bad for me is good for somebody, right? So I cannot say that the person is bad, because the other person might turn up and say, hey, you're saying negative about my friend. I really like him. So we always create our own reality. In my reality, one person can be wrong, one person can be right, right? So it does not mean that the person I feel wrong about or negative about is wrong. So it's
Anna
my
has a
reality. Like,
question. Sumit.
yes, please. Yes, please.
And actually, we are getting disconnected also in fact.
Hi, Sumit. Sumit, my
Hi.
question here would be when we say we create our own reality, I
Huh.
concur with what you have just said. But when it
Mhm.
comes to things